All right, what's going on, everybody? So we're just gonna honestly jump right into it. The Warriors lose Game 3, with a pretty. I'll say this, with two kinds of efforts. We have a pretty good effort with the two people that definitely stepped up. Obviously, we got Kuminga and Jimmy Butler with the performance, but I don't know if I'd rather say that this is a good performance from the Warriors or a terrible one, because nobody else on the team decided to show up. Zero. Nobody, not a single other person decided to show up that night. And I'm going to backtrack and say exactly what I've said before, that the Timberwolves are not that good of a team. And I know it kind of sounds crazy to say that now that we're down 2-1, but we only lost by 5 points with only two guys showing up and being providing any kind of offense whatsoever. So my previous statement that I feel like that the Timberwolves are actually a pretty easy matchup for the Warriors is it honestly stands for me still. I think the Wolves cough up the ball a lot, and I don't think that Anthony Edwards is really that guy yet. Right? I know he's a star. I know the things that he's done. I think he scored, he had 30 that game, but his efficiency hasn't been where I think a lot of people are expecting it to be. And honestly, I'm not necessarily surprised. That was the question that I posed before, right? What have we seen Anthony Edwards really take over a game? And honestly, I'm still waiting for that to happen. I'm still waiting for this game Anthony Edwards took from us or won the game. I'm still waiting for that. I hope it doesn't come. Right? But I still think he hasn't had that. And for whatever reason, I'm a little bit more optimistic now that we're probably going to win Game 4. Right? Game 4. With Jonathan Kuminga in the lineup now. Or in that, number one, Steve Kerr is definitely going to put him in that starting lineup. We need him. Curry's not here. There's nobody else scoring. We 100% need Jonathan Kuminga in that starting lineup, at least minimum, playing 30 minutes a game, 35 minutes a game. We can't afford it. We can't afford him in any other spot. And honestly, I wanted to just touch on the Kuminga thing. Everybody that was on the Kuminga bandwagon was saying, oh, Steve Kerr needs to get fired because Jonathan Kuminga is not getting any playing time throughout the season, and especially when Jimmy came back, he's lost his way out of the rotation. And Kerr's response to a lot of that stuff was, hey, he just doesn't mix well with the current lineups on the floor. The Draymond, Jimmy lineups he can't play on. The Kevon Looney, Steph lineups he can't play in. He's not as defensive, which I honestly do agree with. I think that Kuminga could have been a lot better defensively in a lot of different positions and in different games that he played in. He should be a really good point of attack defender, and Kuminga doesn't make the best decisions. But what that game showed me last night is that Kuminga's not the problem. It's Steph Curry that's the problem. And let me just say this. Obviously, this team goes as far as it goes with Steph Curry. Steph Curry stops playing right now, this is it for us. We don't go anywhere else beyond him. We need him to win this round, and we need him for as deep as this team could go. Obviously. That is obvious. But what I mean by that Curry is really the problem for Jonathan Kuminga is that Jonathan Kuminga last night showed that when he doesn't have to make or think about decisions, he is a really efficient and aggressive player. But when you bring Steph Curry into the mix, especially in a Warriors offense where it's a lot of motion, a lot of screen, look for Steph, screen, cut, screen this, screen that, backdoor. There's way more decisions that Kuminga has to make. And that goes against what he's really good at, and that's scoring the basketball, putting his head down and getting to the rack. And that's why I say that I think that Steph is really the problem for Kuminga, just because Kuminga is that, and I'm sure that a lot of people have spoken about this, but Kuminga just doesn't make good decisions, right? Like that is his flaw. His flaw is that he doesn't have that good decision making speed on the floor, right? A double comes to him and he passes it out, and sometimes it's just a bit too late, just a little bit too late, where the play is like blown up. And last night showed that we're gonna need him more than ever. Jonathan Kuminga, if you can hear this, this is your time, dude. This is your moment. You want to get paid this summer? This is your moment. If you can take us to another game, or if you can win another game for the Warriors, that is your bread this summer, bro. That is going to be your bread. You're playing for your bread right now, man. And I think he's completely capable of doing so. Last night would have been his moment. Last night was what he showed, and the attack and the way that he attacked every time, explosiveness, and he is awesome offensively. And he did a lot of good things on the defensive end as well. But the rest of the cast failed you, bro. Completely failed you. Oh, man. Pods. It really disappoints me to see Pods having like a lot of tough games. And it's really just because out of everybody, I feel like he's the one that I would have least expected. Or I would at least expect it for him, like, all right, yeah, maybe your shot's not going down, but you're contributing a lot of different other ways. It seems like Pod has not been able to find his groove at all versus this Timberwolves team. Defensively, he's been doing a little bit better. And, that's not a question, though. Pods has always been pretty good on the defensive end. But I will say this, though. Get Moses Moody off this fucking team. Get that motherfucker off the team. I don't really have anything else to say about Moses Moody. Dude, I would have made plays on that end. No, but what up? Moses is really having a terrible fucking series, dude. And it's really frustrating to see. Every three that he passes up, every time he drives, every time he has the ball in his hands, he is just super indecisive of what exactly he wants to do. It seems that the Warriors have set up a specific game plan to go with, and he is trying to figure out what that is. He does not know what he's doing on the floor. I think this was game 2, but I'm sure that this clip went around like Warriors Twitter and NBA Twitter. It was him and Pods on a fast break, and he didn't give it back to Pods for Pods to give it back to him. And he shoots this like one hand in front of the rim floater, and Mike Conley was like in between them. And it was like, bro, was that? I don't know if it was Mike Conley or not. But I looked at that. I'm like, yeah, Kerr, you got to remove him off this fucking... You got to get him off the floor. This guy is... The lights are way too bright for him. Way too bright. And I know he's very loved by everybody. Warriors Nation, Dub Nation. Everybody's like, yo, Moses Moody's that guy, and the team really likes him. And I really like him too. But, dude, if you're not going to hit your shots, number one, but if you're also going to be timid and afraid, then you need to get off the floor. You need to get off the floor. My biggest problem with Moody round 1 against the Rockets was that he was never attacking Şengün. Şengün, who can Şengün stay in front of? Nobody, right? But Moses Moody was afraid to do anything against Şengün. And that was my thing, right? That was my biggest gripe with him last round. This round, he is... I don't even want to continue this conversation. Moses Moody needs his minutes cut. Jonathan Kuminga needs to fill that. Whatever minutes that you were going to give Moody, Jonathan Kuminga needs to fill that. And on top of that, dude, let's see more QP, man. Kerr is not giving him a long enough leash at all. At all. At all. He had 3 minutes played in the last 2 games. Like, all right, I understand that as soon as he gets in, they attack him pick and roll wise. I definitely get that. We have not scored more than 100 points in any of these games that have passed. We need Quinton Post at least to shoot something, regardless if it goes in or not. He needs to make a play, and he needs to be on the floor for some kind of spacing. I would really implore Steve Kerr to just give him at least 10, 15 minutes pushing it max. Don't start him, But when you have GP2, Draymond Green, Jimmy Butler, Kevon Looney, and Moses, I don't even know if that's the actual lineup that's on the floor. But when you have a lineup that's on the floor that has no shooting whatsoever, dude, put in Quinton Post. Put in Quinton Post. Put him in the game. That's offense that we need. Pods and nobody else is shooting the ball. We need Quinton Post. Simple. That's just what it is. And last but not least, Draymond Green. Brother, I'm going to just leave this here. Brother. A lot of the times when people speak about Draymond Green and they're not Warriors fans, they think that Draymond Green is just awful. He's just a good defender. He doesn't do anything else. As a Warriors fan myself, in the games that I've watched, it's obvious to see, for me at least, how valuable Draymond Green is on the offensive and the defensive end of the floor. Draymond Green's biggest gripe against him in his career is that he has never proven or he has never done anything without Stephen Curry or Kevin Durant. He has been backpacked by them, right, per se. What I will say to Draymond Green is that the same way that this is Jonathan Kuminga's coming out party, Draymond, this is your moment to cement yourself in some kind of way. You have been ridiculed your entire career about being carried, but you now have a chance to make a big difference and get this team over this hump while Steph Curry is sitting, and to change that narrative around your career. This is Draymond's moment. We know Draymond could hit 4 or 5 threes in a game. It's all in his head. We've seen it happen. We know what we know, everybody knows exactly what Draymond is really capable of. I just hope that he can see that. All right, moving on to the next topic. The Knicks. Every time that the Knicks come into my discussion, anytime that I talk to anybody about that, I obviously am a Knicks fan. I am from New York. I've always been a Knicks fan. I am just also a Warriors fan. Those are the two teams that I just always watch. People think that I hate them. People think that I'm like a real big hater. And honestly, I'm not surprised because of just how critical I constantly am of the Knicks. But the truth and the reality of it is that the Celtics are better than the Knicks in every aspect. Right? They have a deeper bench. They have better players. The Knicks are a good team, though. They are a super good team. But I just think the Celtics are crafted better or put together better. Sure, right? I'm not saying anything crazy. But I will say is that the Knicks haven't won these games. The Celtics are just losing them. And that may or may not make any sense, but the Knicks haven't had a good game in this entire series so far. Not a single game. They have been trailing by 20 in every single game that they have played. Every game they have trailed by 20. Right? And okay, they came back twice. Right? They came back twice. But how can you really bet on a team coming back from 20? That's just not a good team. There's no way you're going to win this series. There's no way. If you cannot lead any point of the game, if you cannot score more. Right? So that's really just where I'm coming from, where I feel like, sure, the Knicks were up 2-0. I thought it was all fun. I thought it was all lit over here. I thought it was, I was about to head over to MSG right now and go celebrate already. Like, we won the finals. Like, I was on that, but I really started thinking about it. And after this game 3, after that belt that we received, right? It's like, hold on. We are way too high on this. And let me tell you something. If the Knicks lose the next home game at MSG, if we lose game 4, the series is over. It's over. That's it. We have lost the advantage. We have stolen 2 games from them. That we came down from 20. Look at this. I don't even know what's going on. We stole 2 games from them. If they take 2 of our home games, that we lost everything that we did. There was no point of it, right? So again, I believe that the Knicks could pull this off, but things need to change, and I know that Tibbs is not gonna do that. Tibbs needs to get fired ASAP. After this season, I hope Tibbs actually gets fired. And I know people are gonna be like, what? No, Tibbs is done for, bro. You have Karl Anthony Towns on the floor, and why are you constantly doing Jalen Brunson isolation? This offense is too stagnant, and this is not something I haven't said before. I keep saying the same thing. Before the playoffs even start, think about it. If you're like, yo, I have Al Horford and I have Karl Anthony Towns, in your mind, you're like, yo, Cat is about to body this dude. Why is Cat a no-show? Why is Cat not involved? Why is that? Cat needs to start slinging threes, man. And I've said this over and over again. Cat needs to start slinging threes. Tibbs, run a play. Gosh. Run a play, Tibbs. Please run a play. Please. Please. We cannot continue getting bailed out. And I really, look, again, I hope that we pull this shit out. I hope so. I don't fuck with the Celtics. I don't fuck with them at all. I don't think Jason Tatum's him. But fundamentally as a Knicks team, like, they need to get that shit together, man. You need to stop going down 20. Like, why is that a normal thing to be down 20 and then expect to win that? That is just, why are you doing that? So anyways, that's my quick rant on these 2 things. The Warriors need to survive until Game 6. And the Knicks need to win Game 3 or 4. Yeah, Game 4. They need to win Game 4 or the series is over. Or maybe it's not. The Celtics have shown us that they like to fall apart. But there's my point again. We're counting on them to fall apart. We're not counting on us being the better team. And there you go. That is my biggest problem with that. That is my biggest problem. We're counting on them to fall apart. We're not counting on ourselves to be the better team to beat them. And I think that is what really bothers me. But that's all I got. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see what goes on in these next games. And that's it. Appreciate y'all.